Okay, I just want to start off by saying thank you to the judges for watching this, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to go ahead and give this speech. So, with that in mind, I just want to go ahead and get started. Starting time now. So, one of the first sports that I was introduced to as a kid was golf. I remember my dad taking me out to the closest course near our house here in Sparks, Nevada. We went to the driving range, and I had instantly fallen in love with the sport. Now, I had no idea up until researching this topic that golf is one of the most least inclusive sports out there. With the occasional person getting hit in the head with a golf ball on the course, it doesn't happen that often. According to Golf Digest, 30,000 golfers reported an injury, but nearly 75% of those were alcohol related. And I hope that children won't be drinking alcohol when they start playing golf on the course. So, with that being said, I want to narrow this discussion of this question of how to make youth sports more inclusive and safer to the sport of golf because it will allow us to determine a good route to solving the problem on with the sport right now. However, this task is no easy task. But I have a plan that I think will be a stepping stone for others to follow along with. With this plan in mind, we can build a bridge for several more children to be introduced to the sport I love so dearly. The plan will be to subsidize public golf courses and dedicate their courses for youth play. In order to fund this project, the biggest challenge of this entire project, private industries like Topgolf will dedicate 10% of their profits to the public courses to pay for the fees of new youth golfers. Now, this is a win-win situation for all the parties involved. Private companies will be able to construct more facilities for more income around the country, and public courses will be able to stay open with more contributions from both golfers and the private sector. Now, and of course, the kids will get to play golf. Now, with that in mind, first let us look at the problem with the golfing scene in the United States right now. Currently, there's some extremely concerning evidence on who is participating in the sport. According to Afro.com from 2023, we can see that only 3% of golfers today are black, and that is just the start of some alarming statistics around golf. Another article states that only 20% of golfers today are people of color. That's from Barron et al. From February 2021. So there must be an action that can correct these numbers to a more inclusive course. However, the numbers stated above are about the adult sport. Looking at the youth statistics, we can determine that this problem starts from a very young age. 0% of youth golfers today are girls, and only 6% come from minorities, and that's from the National Golf Foundation from December 2023. Fixing the adult golfers problem is a bonus of focusing on the youth section of golfers. These kinds of issues are the root causes because youth golfers are much more likely to continue playing into their adult life. So, all that being said, in the problem outlined, we can now that we know how bad the scene is in youth golf, and as golf as a general sport, we can look at how to make it better. The solution to this problem is to make it more accessible for youth golfers of all sorts by giving every child an equal opportunity to play the game. Excuse me. Golf can be a very expensive sport. Course fees can cost upwards of $700, which is far too much for a lot of people in this country. This kind of price makes the game non-appealing to many different people. The way to make kids play is by making it free for them to play because everything that's free is fun. If public courses were given subsidies from private industries like Topgolf, it makes this idea possible. Without some sort of reimbursement from outside companies, the public golf courses would not be able to function by giving youth golfers free rounds. So, with the subsidies for public golf courses, these public golf courses could not only have a better chance of keeping their doors open, but they will have an extreme incentive for youth golfers to come out and give it a shot. With both the problem and the plan outlined, we can analyze the potential outcomes of what this will bring for youth sports or youth golf. However, this exact plan has never been put into place anywhere in the country, and for that, even the world. So finding the exact statistics of what this could bring was extremely difficult. But I think looking at other youth golf programs that have come before will suit just fine. Looking back to the article from Afro.com, we can see a similar golf program was instituted at a local golf course at local golf courses in the state of Alabama. There was a 25% increase in youth golfers, which was not inclusive to any racial or gender group. The problem with many of these youth incentives right now is that they still cost too much money. They still cost too much money to get the most amount of participation out there. So many families cannot afford to get their children out on the course because of how much these things can cost. Looking at the PGA website, we can see that some of the camps that they offer to increase participation in the sport can cost upwards of $100 a day. So many parents are simply just incapable of paying for these kinds of fees. Almost every youth golf program at the moment requires some sort of money or payment. And the plan I'm advocating for would not cost these parents a single dime. Every child would have the same chance to participate in this extremely fun sport, but slightly frustrating at sometimes. This plan will change everything there is to know about youth golf. So, in the end, I know I haven't talked a lot about how to make the golf a safer sport for children. However, I think that is a much simpler problem than the inclusivity aspect. Having courses file liability forms for each new player would make it to where if anything did happen, the courses would take full responsibility. And because of how rare these incidents occur, courses would have almost no incentive not to file these forms. But going back to the question we answered today of how to make youth golf more inclusive and safer, we can see that the golf is one of the most least inclusive sports out there at both the youth level and the adult level. So something has to change. The prices are astronomically high, making it impossible for many children to get even a fair shot at trying it out. So our plan will make it possible for every new youth golfer to get out on the course because it takes these fees away while also helping the public course and the private sector. No one loses in this situation, and even more importantly, we change the sport of golf for a better cause of making it extremely more accessible to everyone in the country. Thank you.